Hey.
Party people! Hey everyone, welcome to the big show. You are on the Unlocked podcast with Christina. I've got a secret that I'm burning to tell everybody, Masheri, and we are joined by the awesome Lori Golden today. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends of all ages, party people, welcome to the big show, Lori. Thank you for joining us today. I am super eager to get into all kinds of trouble with Lori today because Lori is the innovator behind Rebel HR. That is not just the name of her book club. That is her mindset and where she goes and what she does to disrupt our space, right? And that's going to be all about disruption. But before we get into that, Christina, is there any tea, any piping hot tea that you want to share with us?
I do, but hello everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is Christina, your co-host. Just want to give a few minutes. I just got the TikTok rolling and it takes a few seconds to kind of kick into action, but
so you're telling me I have to be patient because it's
just a little bit
the other way around.
I have piping hot tea and I don't want to spill it if nobody, I want to make sure everybody's here to experience it with us. So we have people coming in through on TikTok. I finally got the other computer to work. Why don't we intro Lori?
I did intro Lori. I gave Lori like a great intro. I was like, yo, everybody, we got Lori Golden in the house. Yeah. Lori Golden in the house.
Intro.
Lori Golden from the Rebel HR. She is a leader in fractional TA and recruiting. She is somebody who you want to get to know very well because if you know her, you know the disruption that she is leading in the space. If you don't know her, then you are going to find out shortly how we come together as a community and how we build not just with one voice, but by embracing multiple voices. About multiple voices, as much as I want to give Lori the opportunity to let her voice out and to let that songbird sing, I'm going to pass it over to Christina.
All right,
she
guys.
has some hot tea that I want to spill.
Guys. I started a new job today. Can I just get a round of applause? I mean, I don't know what our audience is looking like, Brian. Anybody? It has been a rough road. If anybody's in the job market right now, I know they can relate. I am so grateful. I have stumbled upon an opportunity that I am so excited to continue on and to share with you guys. It's been a long time in the making, but I am no longer without full-time employment. And you're looking at the new. I started today. Today's my first day. They love the podcast. We love them. I started today as the Associate Director of Sales for Clipit Savings. So if you guys have not heard of them, you guys know me. You'll hear about them soon because I am going to grow the brand awareness for them and go ahead and give them a follow. I kind of want to I'm always trying to prove a point. I'm Christina the Connect. I'm always trying to prove a point. So I took the numbers of their following, and I just want to see what we can do here with our community and see if we can get, some numbers up so I can start fresh with a little ROI, if you know what I mean.
All right. So I want to get into that ROI, and I want to deliver ROI for our customers, for our consultants, for our clients, for our candidates, for everyone who is tuning in to the channel today. Lori, I've given you this big singing, dancing introduction. We've let Christina spill some awesome tea. We've got about 28 people coming into the chat on LinkedIn so far. Lori, who are you? What are you doing? Why are you here with me and Christina? Like, what's going on?
Besides just trying to, loving to get into some trouble with other fun people in our space who like to keep it real. Should I say keep it real?
Good trouble.
Listen, I just wanted to come out and say hi to you guys and see what you were up to and see what we could talk about. And yeah, I mean, I've got lots of interesting things to say. I maybe a little spicy.
We love spice.
We like it, the spice.
That's why you're here. That's why you're here. We seek spice.
Well, how could you
hopefully-
not be spicy and be the rebel HR, right?
Well, right.
like,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I'm the mediocre vanilla rebel.
I don't know many HR people who present themselves as rebels, but you know,
I like it.
I've always been the contrarian in the room, asking why we do things a certain way and is there possibly a better way to do it? And here we are. So yeah.
So I got to ask you, is there anything immediately that jumps out at you that may have happened in the past week or 2 weeks that you feel that the HR community is taking lightly or not taking seriously, that we should be taking, or we should be punching against a ceiling? Like
Yeah.
for me, it's what's going on?
I mean, there's a couple of things. One, this Lattice bit where we're signing our bots up to have employee records. So, you know, I read between the lines. I'm not a like take your PR messaging at face value and like run with that type of person. I'm like a what are they actually trying to do here? So of course I go down the, you know, spiral of what is this really about? And I think that they're going to want to be able to compare productivity of bots against people. And I think that's a badass idea, like a really bad idea. Like we're
Like bad as in bad, not as
like
in bad.
terrible, like horrible, bad, very bad, no
Tell me
good
more.
shitty
Tell us
idea.
more.
Well, I mean, first of all, you know, humans are humans and bots are bots. They're not comparable. They're not
Now, when you
sentient.
say bot,
So Lattice AI wants to employ employees that are bots or are GPTs and LLMs and Gen AIs
Yeah.
that are basically competing for your job. Is they want you to outwork a machine. Am I right, Lori? Or am I making this up?
No, you're right. And worse, because it's Lattice. And Lattice is an HRIS company embedding their technology in all other companies. They're actually offering this en masse. So not just Lattice is going to employ AI and call them an employee on record that's measurable, that they're not paying, I guess, but they're going to embed this in all the other companies that they have their HRIS system in. So everybody gets to add bots to their employee roster. But there are issues with that. There's a lot of issues with that. I don't think that's the conversation here, but the point is, you know, it's a good segue into look, guys, enough of us out here just complaining about bad technology being implemented. Like, complaining about it's not going to change it. We need to use our voices collectively to power against it. Like if a technology is not adding value and benefit to job seekers or recruiters or hiring
Tom wants
companies,
to see you. They didn't have it know the guests, but yeah, we're on TikTok. We have Jamie, of course, is our LinkedIn user who prefers to watch us on TikTok, and there are a lot of people tuned in. We have over 600 hearts so far. Jamie, hello. Well, we know you're here. We know you got that gun. And
The money gun. The money gun.
she switched over to LinkedIn to tell the rest of the TikTok community who the guest speaker was. So
Oh.
thanks, Jamie, for being a
Hi.
real one. We appreciate that.
So real quick, while we've got a pause in the film, I just want to say that I want to play the devil's advocate here for Lattice. Is that the way that I understood it is that Lattice was creating these AI avatars so that they could go through onboarding and goal setting and receiving feedback to uncover the challenges that we face as human beings with those really, I'll say it, like, you know, people don't have great onboarding experiences at every company that they go to. Like my onboarding experience at Twitter was awesome. It was masterful. But like my onboarding experience at Amazon, bleh, all right, you know, but like when you think about like goal setting or these human elements, like isn't that worth having an AI avatar?
Yeah, I was gonna say, not to stir the pot, but I started a new job today, and in Christina GPT fashion, I created a bot. And I told my boss, like, hey, I created this bot. And he was like, I have one too. And I was like, cool. So, like,
I'm all for AI. I'm all for AI.
Yes.
I'm all for good creative use of AI that removes the
Enable.
redundant tasks, frees us up for more human connection, more creativity, la 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 la. That is not what this is about.
yes. And
Not what this is about.
this
If we're automating tasks to free humans up, then we probably aren't going to measure humans and bots together.
no, but like, I mean, I don't know. I'm going to just say it because why are we measuring humans?
We've always measured humans. We measure humans
Productivity,
against
ROI,
humans.
like
It goes back to Drucker, right? Like you inspect what you measure, and what measure gets managed, right? Is that Drucker? Tell me I messed that up. I'm pretty sure.
No. I always knew. You always said measure what matters. And I've always in recruitment and sales, I have learned that the things that we don't like to do, or like the je ne sais quoi activity, we hate, but
we don't like being held to it.
But you can't get to the return on investment without the activity. And it comes back to effort and motivation, and what we've talked about a lot. And I feel like, Lori, what really struck me about your profile is your branding. And, as we keep growing on the podcast and uplifting live is very important, because what a bot can't take? Our live stream.
Dude, I totally disagree with that. There is the tool Sensia, which is showing me an ad all the time on LinkedIn about how I can automate my training by using a bot and by sampling my voice.
Oh yeah. That can be done, but this can't. This is
the
real
talk show.
live.
I don't know. Brian GPT. Here we go.
I should already have one.
I like it for the content. I like it to keep your content updated and fresh without having to re-record all your content. That was the Vanessa gave that example the other day on one of the meetings that I
Vanessa Rath.
Yes, Vanessa Rath. And she was talking about it's like, not about sending your avatar to a live conversation. It's about being able to update hours and hours of content and courses, without re-recording it. And to me, that's a brilliant use case for it. Again, it's not AI good, AI bad. It's good AI use cases versus shitty AI use cases, of which there are many, like
so many.
Easy apply, like auto.
Oh, hold on. Let's talk about auto apply. Can we talk about auto apply?
I love
talk about it because, I'd like to, cuss about it, but we can.
Well, I mean, you brought it up, right? And Lori, one of the things that I know that you're passionate about is building tools that make the recruiting community better.
Yeah.
Right. And I would argue that building better tools for the recruiting community falls in line with building better tools for sales and for solo entrepreneurs and all the like. How do you, I mean, like, I don't expect you to tell me how to build a tool, but how do you get a community? You can, okay.
I mean, no, I can tell you what's missing. I can't tell you how to.
Tell me what's missing.
Tell you how to add it, but I will tell you what's missing, whether it's sales, whether it's recruiting. Every poor AI use case I've seen has been missing nuance, like the nuance that humans add to the conversation. That's it.
It's too anodyne.
It's checkboxy. It's black and white. It's they can't understand, and they can't kind of participate in the gray.
Yeah,
like we can.
Or laugh at themselves when they make
like they wouldn't understand satire or sarcasm or self-deprecation for laughs versus actually I mean, there's. That's human nuance. That's what makes us each interesting. Like, who the hell wants a world? It's interesting because the more AI comes in, the more whoever they is, want to make all of us the same, more the same. And I'm like, but that's the whole point of AI, is so that we can be our unique, dazzling essences out here.
Razzle dazzle, spicy.
That's gonna be our secret sauce. That's what we've got. That's what a bot doesn't have. Double down on it.
All right, so to the Hyde mistresses of spicy that I'm here. If you're just tuning in, it's Brian and the Spicy Sisters today. The Spicy Sisters. I'm curious, how do you set a standard for what something should be, i.e., AI or a tool for a community? Where do you come up with the standard? I'm open to either
Can
one
I
of you.
pause and answer first, Laurie, if you don't mind?
Yeah, please do.
Because I have a demonstration. How do I set the standard, Brian, you asked?
I asked.
Here we go. That's how I set the standard.
Okay, so Christina, I think I know. I know Shasta. Shasta. Hello, welcome to the big show. I totally have my hands full with the Spicy Sisters. That is what this episode is going to be known as on
I
Spotify.
gotta see these comments because.
Oh, I'm just seeing them now. I'm pulling them up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Cindy, Carson, everyone that has said, congratulations.
Hi, friends. Hi, Carson. Hi, Ellen. Hey.
Hello.
I would say the same thing as you, Christina. The question, the how is you ask people what they want. How do you build in a space? You ask the practitioners in the space.
But I don't feel like people are asking me.
They're not.
Why? Why are they not asking me?
Because they're more worried about getting funding from the VCs. So they're looking for approval from the people with the money, not the people who are going to adopt the tool. It's the Silicon Valley tech startup game. But here's the thing. If you all come and ask us and talk to us, there are a lot of us who are brilliant, creative innovators. And we have a lot of ideas around how these tech tools could be so much better. And if you listen to us and you build it for us, we're going to adopt it and we're going to help you get it adopted and adapted everywhere. But if you try and circumvent us,
all right, so we've got that. We've got to create the community, right? But around that community, both of you spit a lot of authenticity. Okay.
to a fault.
Don't you love that one, Lori? Because I do.
To a fault.
Okay, so you spit a lot of authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
How does that help a person grow organically? Because Lori, I look at you and I look at the work that you do in the comments and the community you're building on LinkedIn. Help me to understand that. Help me to unlock that for our audience.
Totally. So, I've been exposed to all the same stuff everybody else, and everyone wants to subscribe how you do the thing and how you grow your audience and schedule posts and how many and when and blah, blah. I listen to none of that. So I just say whatever it is that I have to say in the moment that I think of it. Like, so if I'm annoyed about a thing or if I'm excited about a thing, I write about it in that moment. I do not wait. I do not schedule.
You mentioned that.
So everything you get is off the cuff and like actually like my raw emotion or my raw thoughts about it.
So like Brian is, if we were to all, I don't, not that I think, I'm not trying to compare anyone, but Brian is very scheduled.
Very
scheduled, and I admire that about him. Like I aspire to have that level of organization and like
consistency
and like preparation. And so you don't schedule at all. Whereas I oftentimes give advice to people that are just starting to get in the groove of content creation and like, the fear of posting. I always say, my advice is like schedule it. You'll forget about it and then you won't worry. Like just press the schedule. And so I do advise people to try that if they're, having trouble getting that first piece of content out, because we're in the age of just push it out, right?
Yeah.
Get it out there. But I'm a blend. Like I schedule some stuff. For instance, we go live every Monday. I have schedules for the morning, and then because in the beginning somebody had made a comment, and that's us taking feedback that, hey, we couldn't find the link. So that'll never happen again, because I have a scheduled post that goes out at 3:00 and 4:00 right when we go live, just in case you don't know where it is. I got it for you. So
yeah,
I schedule, but I also am so off cut and usually in the comments.
Really, I think the formula for success, not sex, success is for everyone.
It's okay. I mean, that would be
use
the
the
first time
formula for that
we've
one,
done
too.
it.
Formula
Yeah,
later,
yeah.
like it's a little early for that formula. No, it's just everyone should do what's real for them. Like what I do and what works for me won't work if somebody else does it, because I'm ballsy and like a little provocative, and like
love
I'm
that.
cool with that, right? Like I don't necessarily think everybody should try and land that if that's not real for them. Same thing with everything. Should you write a thank you note after an interview? Well, do you send your grandma a thank you note when you get your Christmas present? Like, if that's real for you, yes, you should do it. If it's not real, you shouldn't do it. Performative, anything sucks. Authentic, everything is awesome.
Yeah. Soundbite right there, Command Z.
All right. So wait a minute. When I schedule something, I can't predict what's going to happen next, right? So like some of the stuff that I put out there is to be provocative in the moment that I thought about it.
Yeah.
But like last week, so we talked about this thing with Lattice.
Mhm.
I want to talk about SHRM for a minute.
Oh,
Okay. Like I just want to say, SHRM has struck the word equality from their DEI strategy. It's now diversity and inclusion, because they felt that equality and equity were exclusive and excluding individuals from participating in the greater conversation. Lori, I still haven't found the words. I still haven't massaged it. What would you advise to somebody who wanted to speak up against SHRM and say, I mean, that is if you agree, or if you, I'd love to know your opinion on that.
Strong opinion, of course. My strong opinion is we're wasting time, energy, and focus talking about what it's called.
Letters.
Stop giving a shit about the words that when people do that, when they get caught up in semantics because they're afraid to have the real ass conversation about what's wrong. Like what's wrong, what's missing, what hasn't worked. It's a very difficult conversation. So they want to get caught up in some words and some initials. I mean, I knew DEIB was off the rails when it started being hijacked for brand value, but like that's another conversation.
Oh, wait a minute. No. Let's go there for a minute, because I got really upset during Pride Month that everybody turned their logos with full of rainbows, but yet they weren't willing to take a stance in the fight in the 500 laws that are being passed in congressional districts across the country that target people that are LGBTQ, but it's okay if I have a rainbow.
Right. I won't even participate in the hard conversation, but I somehow deserve to fly this flag, but I won't even have the hard conversation. Chutzpah. It's ridiculous. I mean, that's why nothing happened with the actual DEIB efforts, is because it was being leveraged for the wrong thing. It was a cash grab.
Isn't that every policy? I'm sorry, but I'm about to start shooting shots at HR.
Well, hey, we've had the conversation. Actually, that's a great call. This is a great conversation to have. Lori, where do you think talent acquisition belongs? Do you think it belongs with HR? Or do you think it belongs with?
I've never believed it belonged in HR. I also don't believe HR, there's a caveat. So I don't believe legal compliance things belong in HR either.
Thank you.
So if HR was really about people and not about protecting the company from its people, then yes, TA could live in HR. But as long as HR has a competing priority to protect the company from people, then no, we should not have any place in that function. We should be part of an ops or directly into the CEO office, as far as I'm concerned. How is who you hire into your company and how you take care of them once they're there not the number one most important priority in every company in the world?
Because we're a line item in a budget, right? We're the most expensive.
Biggest line item. The biggest line item.
We're the most expensive asset in a company.
Who, HR or
people?
Yeah.
Arguably, some companies' only real differentiator is the people that they have. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why I mean, people can make or break your organization, your brand, the experience that people have with your company. I mean, like, it's everything, but it seems that post-COVID, companies don't seem to care about the long game of the brand investment they've made. It's like everything is just kind of deteriorating really quickly. You look at like the Intuit. I mean,
Oh, dude, I got so many friends that I'm like, this person is a high achiever. This person has been in their role for 8 years. They progressed through the organization. They've created immense value. And then I'm seeing their LinkedIn posts, or I'm getting the phone calls from them. Hey, Brian, it's been 8 years and it's been great, but it's over.
You want to know what I compared that showing, that the way Intuit made the statement they said? To me, it was like an abusive partner shaming the other on their way out of a relationship. It was the most gaslighty, narcissistic thing I've ever seen. Like, it's not enough that we're going to impact you all adversely, but we're going to also make it your fault so that we can look better. Narcissism 101, gaslighting, crapola. What is this? And this is one of the larger, more successful tech corporations in the world. Like, what's going on?
Leanna, this is from Leanna. It doesn't show, I don't know why, but Leanna, we are loving that you're loving the conversation. And we are so happy that you are here. And I encourage everyone to drop their profile URL in the chat. I used to do that. I still do that everywhere I attend. If you want to grow and connect with people who have similar or differing, I love diversity of perspective and different thoughts.
Yeah.
Drop your URL. It's the greatest way to grow.
That's how I've grown out here.
I want to come back to this thing about Intuit. For those of you who are not aware of it, Intuit, the parent company of MailChimp or of Credit Karma, they have let go of 10% of their global workforce.
Today?
No. This was last week. Big impacts in Atlanta, Georgia, where I sit, where MailChimp is. And as they did it, and to Lori's comment about being gaslit by a disgruntled lover, is that they were pushed out of the organization. And when they did so, they said, we are making cuts because we're getting rid of the underperformers.
Publicly
in Inc. magazine, right? But the thing I want to come back to is they said that, and everybody heard that. I don't know that everybody also heard that they said that one of the reasons that they're getting rid of everybody is because they have made investments in AI that have not delivered ROI for the business.
If you have a quota carrying role, I'm sorry.
If you have a quota carrying role, you don't belong in HR.
You don't belong in HR. I'm sorry, but I have an HR degree, and I hope I don't get canceled for saying this, but like, who created the idea of HR? Because when I hear about it and I think about they're protecting, the company, and then like Lori says, from the people, which is so twisted and sick. And it's like, oh, HR is there to like onboard you and like get you all set up, but don't talk to them after that, because you never know. You say the wrong thing to HR and boom, right? And it's like this weird dynamic that you're supposed to like love them in the beginning and then avoid them at all costs. And it's like, no wonder every recruiter every recruiter, I'm trying to think from a sales perspective because I ain't no recruiter anymore, but like every recruiter has had trouble with a hiring manager at some point in their career, right? And I can't help but think maybe it's because we're tied to HR and nobody wants to talk to HR.
Well, when you have this conversation scheduled with HR on your calendar, you immediately think bad thoughts. I'm not sure where that came from other than the movie 9 to 5 with the lovely Dolly Parton in it. But it is a reality that people get scared when they get that HR inbox message, right? I want to turn something back though. I want to turn this back to this comment that was in the letter from Intuit, because we are seeing some people in the chat who are saying these people were not low performers.
Of course
Is
not.
that they said they recently significantly raised the bar on expectations of employee performance, resulting in approximately 1,050 employees leaving the company who are not meeting expectations and who we will believe will be more successful out of Intuit.
I bet you the farm, they didn't communicate those changed expectations to anybody
You know
in
what?
advance.
I
Like,
have an issue with corporate and setting standards for performance and behaviors and like acceptable norms of like professional all of that. It's just like, you're going to tell me like, I have to wonder when you say, oh, they were all low performers. Oh, all you guys at the top, what were you guys? A bunch of high performers leading a bunch of low performers? That doesn't make any sense.
when is leadership
Because if they're
ever-
all low performers, what are you? The leader of the low performers? Come on.
This is like my narrative around A players, B players, and C players. Like, I know people throughout 25 years of my career who were an A player in one environment and a C player in the other in my environment. And the difference was the leader, not them. Or like
Leadership
are not
means-
equal.
Leadership, there needs to be some sort of like mandated like leadership training. And for everyone except my new boss. Everyone except my new boss gets like a free book. He's like, it feels so good to work for Americans again. Hate to say that, but like, you know, I've been in the global TA space for so long, and man, feels good.
Well, let's agree that leadership has a profound impact on the performance of others, right? About motivation and morale, right? You know, Christina, you called me this morning, said, or this afternoon at lunch, and said, "Hey, I love this team. I'm having great meetings. There seems like there's a lot of clarity and direction." I wonder if people are low performers don't have clarity and direction. Back to your was that a confidential conversation at lunch? Like, because you said that.
No. I mean, I'm sure my boss is watching right now. If you are, Ryan, drop your profile URL in here just to let me know that you're in here. But no, nothing was confidential. I think that a lot of companies put a high value on the onboarding experience and like the first day and the first week. And I have had a few different experiences in my day now that I'm, you know, almost 10 years in working corporate. I've had some great, you know, my last role with Elements, one thing, they did some really good training. I will say that. My first week, I was like, but I was so slammed with back-to-back trainings that it was so overwhelming that it almost instilled this like imposter syndrome that everybody kept talking about. And it was the first time I had ever heard of that. And I was like, what? Wait, what? Like, do you know how many rounds of interviews I went through to get this job? And now I gotta feel like an imposter? No. And everybody, they were mass hiring when I started, and nobody felt the same. They were like huge imposter syndrome. Like, I don't feel like I belong. I feel like everybody's smarter than me. And I'm just like,
it's the culture. It's a byproduct of a really bad culture. Like, that should,
which is built like,
exactly.
To instill fear and and it's almost like cultish a little bit. It is.
And you can't spell culture without cult.
That is a soundbite, Command Z. But like, I love the startup environment. If
Me
you
too.
can't tell, we've been, you know, we got Top Voices Media, we got the Unlocked podcast. We're just spitting things out, right? So the company Clip It Savings, we're pre-go-to-market right now. I don't know if that's confidential. Ryan, stop me, but I am so thrilled. They're all like if the email isn't, I'm like, you guys.
All right. Hold on.
We're having the greatest time. No problem.
Let's go back to the fact that you got a new job today.
Yeah. I got a new job today.
You got a new job today. I know that there are people who are out there that are looking. I
That
want
have
to
been looking with me the whole time.
I,
We've been on the
yeah,
journey
and
together.
I
Yeah.
want to tap on something with Lori. Lori, do you think that, I mean, there apparently is one job for every, there's one person for every 5 job openings online. Do you think those job openings are all real? Do you think they're fake? Like, what's going on with this?
They're not all real. I think a couple things are happening. One, there are a lot of fake jobs out there. Some are scams. Some are looking to collect information for LLMs. It's kind of obvious which is which.
Oh, I did not think about that. I did
Yeah.
not think about that.
No,
That is
they're
right there.
literally listen, not only that, but so when you apply for a job, the default is that you're automatically following the company. So companies
No, you're not.
when you apply for a job, the default is you're automatically, you can uncheck it, but the default is that follow is checked.
Oh,
Listen,
So
okay.
instant
Okay.
apply on
most
LinkedIn,
people
yeah.
Yep.
Most
I was
people,
gonna say I don't. Sometimes I
People-
uncheck it when I'm like, I don't know.
Lori,
won't
Lori, take us
uncheck
home.
it.
Keep going.
they're
Keep
not
going.
going to uncheck it. Okay. So companies are also using this as to harvest followers.
Oh my
Organically.
goodness.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the fake job. It's not just fake jobs. There are real jobs out here, but remember, this is important. I hope everybody hears this. The hiring managers and the people involved in the hiring process that are still in the companies are also walking on eggshells, trying to avoid the next layoff. That's why things are taking longer. That's why they seem indecisive. They are. They're in a state of risk aversion. Why? They're walking on eggshells and don't want to be caught in the next round of layoffs. Like there's a lot of moving parts all at once here. And they make sense when you break them all down. It's not just the job market's broken. I mean,
No.
yeah, the job market's broken, but there's like 12 different reasons why and totally different like scenarios happening all at once.
All right, wait. You said there are 12 reasons. You got to give me 2 more other than the fact that I think they're fake jobs. I'm holding your feet to the fire on that. And
All right,
apparently I'm throwing balloons. All right.
One, over volume, AI auto apply is causing way too much volume. Talent acquisition is running leaner than ever before. So you have 10x the applicants, maybe half or less the recruiters managing the applicants.
Oh yeah.
So just those counterpoints are enough to cause the frustration on both sides, right?
Yeah.
The lack, and then of course, when you look at who in TA has been most impacted, it's the senior people, it's the strategic players who have experience adding smart friction to the funnel instead of horrible fiery hoops for people to jump through for no reason. Like there's a strategy there. It requires like a lot of critical thought and understanding to put good, healthy brand fostering friction in the funnel. But if all you have left is junior recruiters in your place, I mean, who's going to know how to do that? Right? That's another problem. I could keep going, but I mean,
keep going. This is good shit, dude.
I mean, Cindy mentions here tons of fake jobs. Think 6 interviews where they pump you for info. Okay, Brian, can I have a second to? I am so grateful for the job that I have today, but I went through some hurdles, some really, really bad hurdles. That, when I first got laid off from my fancy tech job, Brian told me, you're not going to get anything until March. And I was like, what? There's no way. I've never been out of work that long. It's July. So I've had 2 or 3 like significant roles that we're supposed to go through, and just like Cindy mentions, where I did some serious work for a few employers that guaranteed took my product, my little take-home assessment, and are going to go to market with it because it was brilliant.
I've never seen that, by the way. I want to say this because I hear that narrative a lot, and I bet Brian can. In 25 years, I've never seen a company take an interview assignment and try to use it like in real life. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Don't get me.
So wait a minute. There was a company that I was interviewing with, and they had a sourcing assessment, and I said, and it was done live, in which I was supposed to produce 10 candidates in 30 minutes.
What? That was a test for you?
It was a test for me,
I've
right?
never heard of, I've never even taken.
So I produced 10 profiles of candidates that I would reach out to
Yeah,
and
it's not hard to
suggested
do.
email messages that I would send out to it. I'm not going to name the company, but the company reached out to 5 of those candidates. And I know that because when I didn't get the job, I was like, well, I got this candidate list. I'm going to reach out to these candidates and see if I can NPC them.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, I'm in process with blank company. And I'm like,
I would lose my marbles.
I was like, it happened with 1. It's coincidence. Happens with 2, shame on you. Happens in 3, shame on me. Happens 4 times. Happens 5 times. What the hell's going on?
Yeah,
I assume positive intent that they positively needed my candidates because they were better.
I hear this a lot in the creative space, like copywriters, graphic designers. I'm hearing constantly them getting their ideas taken. I've never seen it. I'm sorry, Christina.
No, I just wanted to engage TikTok. I know we have TikTok here. We have Jamie. Jamie and I we go way back from my cutthroat days of contract skilled trades labor. And if I had a company that I was interviewing with, so Cindy puts here in the chat, and I'm saying it out loud so everyone can hear it. Just had one that wanted a presentation. So she's talking about an interview, a presentation with my contacts and how I know them, which is just insane.
Wow.
And like Jamie knows me well enough to know that nobody's going to steal a candidate from me. I'm going to do whatever I can to build strong relationships, right? But I also went through an interview process where I was advised after the president said, job's yours. Brand new head of HR comes in and references, right? So I pulled out all my black cards of all of the top relevant contacts I had, still didn't get the job. You know how embarrassing that is? To have to reach out to your network and be like, can you vouch for me for this job? And you still don't get it.
And all the while they may be collecting leads.
They are. Because what are they going to do? They're just going to pass on them.
All right. So real quick, we've got about 15, 20 minutes left in our conversation. Lori, want to ask you a different question.
Yep.
If you were going to plug one thing today, what would that one thing be? Because I want to make sure I give you the opportunity to flip the script, if you will, to turn it around.
Oh, it's so hard because I have something for recruiting leaders in play, and I also have something for job seekers.
Bring them both. You get to bring both.
Real
Did you bring both, Christina?
It's not deep, neither one, but I have Talent Tech Advisory. I've worked with several talent tech companies building in our space. I give them raw, unadulterated feedback, the kind that you won't get from most people. And I have a deep, innovative understanding of kind of how tech works and how to roll it out to the market and what we need here on the recruiting side. So I have that offering for anybody building in the space. And then the other side is, look, job seekers, if you're getting invited to top of the funnel one-way interviews, it's not really a one-way interview, but you're asked to record something. This, by the way, is one of the most popular ways to utilize AI at the top of the funnel, not just the ranking, but before the ranking. It invites people to go ahead and speak, answer questions in a video platform, and then it does a lot of algorithmic whatever blah blah blah, and the LLM and the AI and the ML and the NLP,
all about Turkey,
right? And then it basically, I'm going to show you what the recruiter and the hiring manager are going to see in the black box. Like, what kind of report are they going to get after you participate? So yes, there's tons of people out there who are going to coach you on how to interview well, but I'm going to very specifically coach you on this part of the process, the AI generated one-way interview where you have no control, no visibility. I'm going to empower you with control and visibility and help you so that if you ever get into that scenario, you are comfortable, you're ready, and you know exactly how they're going to use your information.
Speaking of using information, there's some great people on this call that have added great value and great information to the conversation today. I know that we've got about 20 plus that are still with us on LinkedIn. I know we've got an audience on YouTube and we've got an audience on TikTok. Lori, we want to do something a little different. We want to make sure that we save time to turn questions over to you from the audience.
Great.
But we also want to give you the opportunity to turn the tables on me and Christina and ask us anything that's on your mind.
That's a good one. Yeah. Let's see. I'd love to know how, each one of you, what is the number one thing that has been most valuable in pivoting from just W-2 job to branded influencer, thought leader, consultant coach?
I know my answer.
So wait a minute, Christina, you can go first on what it's been like to pivot to thought leader. I think that's a great conversation there. And I would encourage somebody like Lena or Cindy or Jamie to jump in on the chat and let us know what it's like to pivot in that direction as well. Christina, what do you got besides flowing up hearts?
I'm sorry, but I'm getting money gun shot over on TikTok because Lori, I know you said you're on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I'm a pusher. I push people. I might push you to get onto TikTok.
I guess I would. I've always been afraid of video, but I'm doing it more and more. I was afraid of video too. This was a blocker of mine. It was a limiting belief. Like I didn't like seeing myself and I don't like hearing
Nobody does in the beginning. And honestly, so the question was about like our best piece of advice to get started, right?
What was most impactful for you in your pivot?
I tell this story a lot, but I remember Brian he pushed me and he was like, right for the International Women's Day, Recruiting Daily. I wrote that article the Sunday before it went out on a Wednesday and then met Brian that day in Texas, and we did Talent Net Live, and then I stuck around for South by Southwest. And long story short, having somebody believe in you when you don't believe in yourself was the game changer for me. It really was. I'll never forget. I asked Brian, I said, Brian, are you sure I can do this? Like, I don't know. I was so nervous. And it was like, I think it was before I even started getting on camera. It was more of like, I was nervous to write too. And he said, word for word, Christina, I wouldn't waste my time on you if you weren't, it's some form of that of like,
I would not waste my time on you if you were not meant to be bigger than you are.
Yeah. And it was that sentence right there that I was like, I am going to shoot for everything because why not? What's the worst that could happen? I embarrass myself. I'm making a career out of it.
Nobody sits on their deathbed and says, oh, I embarrassed myself.
Right. Who cares? Yeah. More like all the chances I didn't take. Yeah. No, listen, I'm courageous. I'm ballsy. I don't mind failing and falling flat on my ass. I honestly don't. So
me neither. I'm so used to it. And it's like, I don't know how to advise people on that because the only way to really get used to rejection and like failure is to like my parents tell me all the time, you learn everything the hard way. And I really do.
My choice. Yeah.
Everything in life. Like I just, the hardest way possible, that's the way it's coming from me. But I don't think I make the same mistake twice. So
it's the deepest learning. It's the most painful and the most challenging adversity.
There you go.
The most important lessons in life. And if you kind of avoid them, that you're going to keep living that thing over and over and over again until you learn it. So you might as well.
Amy Bliss on TikTok just presented a fantastic question for everyone. Number one, she was talking about freedom of, what we were talking about and just, getting over it and posting, right? But she said, if you don't push your limits, how do you know how far you can go? And that is from Jamie Fliss.
Yes, exactly.
That's how I live my life, and I don't know how to encapsulate that and gift it to people, because if I could, I would.
By showing up and being exactly that. You let your light shine so that others you're like a beacon. The goal isn't to necessarily, teach people how to do this, but rather to be and give them permission through your being.
I feel like this is the Compliment Christina episode. I'm so overwhelmed. Thank you. You just called me a beacon. I'll write that down.
Absolutely. That's what, look, we each,
listen,
we each have to let our light shine and be a beacon. People are afraid to shine too brightly because they don't want to be tone deaf and hurt the other people who aren't shining. No, shine brighter so that the people in the darkness can find their way out. That's the whole point.
Yeah, absolutely. And like the one thing I would add to that is, when you shine your light, be very well aware, have some self-awareness that not everyone is going to enjoy your light.
Yeah.
Not everyone.
No, and that's okay. It's okay. Not everybody's supposed to bask in it.
Yeah. You're going to have haters. If you don't have haters, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So real quick about haters. David Fitzsimmons has a question for us. I've heard that one-way interviews are considered unethical, biased, and prejudicial. Oh, son, you do not want to get me started on this, but I'm going to
don't even go there.
I agree.
Let's go there.
Well, I agree with it, but I also, so are people.
Well, no. Christina and I were talking about this. I think people are biased. I totally agree with you on that. Christina and I were talking about this the other day, is that I do not believe in one-way interviews, because if somebody has a bad internet connection, has a bad 780p versus 1080p camera,
how is that different than a one-on-one interview with a
all
person?
These narratives about the person. You feed into your biases in the back of your head, and there's no reconcilable defense for that person to say, hey, I mean, it's like back in the day. I remember in the 90s, in 2000, when we used to put in a job description, must have a car.
But must have a reliable
transportation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I used to do back? Jamie knows. Let me tell you, when you have a good skilled tradesman in the robotics industry, my guy was the best. Olaf Bode, he is a gem, still calls me to this day. And I Ubered him to work for the first week until he got his first paycheck, because I got him, and that was the talent that the company KUKA wanted. That opened the floodgates for so much more opportunity for me. But I had to do some behind, and Jamie obviously did give me his number. I love Olaf. See, she's trying to get him as a contractor. Don't worry, I got you. I'll give you his number. I don't know if he's still contracting, but point being, no, go ahead, Lori.
Can I add another thing about the one-way interview? I think this is really important. If I were consulting, or if I were leading a talent acquisition function, I would not implement a one-way interview. Okay, I don't agree. I don't like it. I don't think it's the best way.
Record it, and you watch it later.
But listen, it's not quite like you guys think it is. I do think everybody should try it, because I think that people are making a lot of assumptions that aren't true. Here's the thing. It doesn't behoove us to fight against something that is already a trend happening when job seekers are desperate and need work. Like, what is important is giving them ways to stand out in a competitive market, meaning being willing to do the thing at the top of the funnel, liking it or not, but like learning how to do your best at it. The thing is that there are a lot of people who are just as uncomfortable in an interview with a human being. And that maybe there are a lot of neurodivergent people who might actually be more comfortable recording themselves than having a one-on-one with a human being. Like, the point is, you're never going to find a modality that's 100% wonderful for everybody. But I do think that in markets like these, where it's very competitive and it's hard to stand out, everyone should learn how to do all the things, because what 80% of people aren't willing to do, if you do it, that automatically gives you the edge. edge. And it's all about getting the edge right now. Whether you look, we can fight about getting, one-way interviews like illegalized or legislated or whatever the hell you want later. But right now you need to pay your water bill. Like, let's get you a job first. Let's not try to fight the system, rage against the machine while job searching. Like, that's not strategic right now.
Yeah. But you know what? I do while jobs.
They don't care enough for that to work.
Yeah. I haven't really dealt much with the one-way interview. I also have a very short fuse for interview culture, I guess you could say. Like once I was reached out to by a talent acquisition manager of a company that I can't even remember the name of, but it was so personalized. And this lady gassed me up, right? Like she was like, you would be the perfect fit for our company. And blah, blah. I was like, yeah, sure. I'm on a call with you guys. Look, initial checkout looks great. Jump on. And I had asked her beforehand, will you be on the call with us? Because she had made such a good first impression on me through InMail on LinkedIn. No, she gave me this runaround answer. And I should have known, and I did know something was up, but I was desperate for a job.
Yeah.
I jumped on this interview and I was appalled. There were like 19 global candidates with everybody was calling the job a different title based on where they were.
And no one knew that was happening. Like this was
no, dude. She called me after this. And she's like, "How was during this?"
So that's just bad, shitty team leadership, guys. Listen, I'm not like pro or con these formats or cattle calls or whatever, but whatever, I'm pro transparency. Whatever you choose to do in your process, be willing to explain it clearly and stand behind it. And even if you don't know, even if you're saying we're implementing a new AI at the top of the funnel, we don't know if the results are going to be positive. We don't know if this is the best way, but we're trying it. And we just want to be open and fair with you to know what's going on. I would go work for that company in a heartbeat because it's not, we're perfect. It's what's real. Like we're honest. New things. We're trying to manage the volume. Give us a break.
Yeah. And for me, when it comes to interviews, I do think maybe I'm old school in that regard, that I think that it's human to human. People buy from people. People make decisions from people. I identify as much more as a recruiter nowadays. But I'm just saying, people are always going to be the one thing. Like when you think of connectivity and like the electrical,
I want to be clear too. This is not something that ever replaces the people to people contact. It just helps us narrow down. Look, all 1,000 people who applied for the one job all want the opportunity to tell their story. This actually gives a lot more people the chance to do that. Because if you're only allowing a person-to-person contact, at best, I'm going to get to 20 of you out of 1,000. 20.
I see your point.
Jamie made a point on TikTok, and she said, be transparent so people can trust your integrity off the jump, which is exactly, if I would have been told off the jump what I was going into, it would have been a different story.
You could have been prepared for it mentally or otherwise.
Like when I jumped in and I saw what I was encountering, I was texting Brian and I was like, you'll never believe what this is. And they were just going name by name. And when it came to me, I was like, I'm really sorry. This just isn't, something that I'm interested in moving forward with.
I would have told them exactly what they were doing.
Oh, I did.
Bullshit.
All right. So we have got,
we'll talk later.
We'll talk later. We got a minute left on the big show.
All right, minute left. Drop your URLs. Where can we find Lori? We find
Lori?
Lori's on LinkedIn. I will drop I'm on the event. So there's a way to click on me. So please connect with me. I connect with everybody pretty much, unless you're just coming to, be bitchy. But pretty much I connect with everybody anyway. I don't mind contrarian perspectives. I love a good debate as long as we're respectful. Like it's all good.
Right,
I actually am on TikTok. I just have never posted anything.
Don't worry, we'll get you there.
I want to say one other thing. Oh no, you're running the credits. Are you running the credits? Are we done?
You can say it right after.
Say it, Brian. Get it in.
Okay, so real quick, all of the party people. Lori wants to be at RecFest.
So does
I
Christina.
encourage you not only to like our page on LinkedIn, but to go to RecFest and go to Jamie and say, we need Lori as a panelist because she is disrupting the fundamentals of HR. Lori, is that what is that all good? Is that in the big
Go
show?
for it. Hell yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thanks to everybody. Thanks to Christina. Christina, who we got next week?
Next week, we have James Ellis on the big show. And
Branding.
yeah, and then we have the next 2 weeks are going to be super hot. Let's just say that. So
This week was super hot.
This week,
Lori on the big
this
show.
month, July, we got that Leo energy. It is pumped. Thank you everyone for tuning in on TikTok. We love you. We love having you. You make it.
Thanks for everybody tuning in on LinkedIn. We love you.
Everybody on LinkedIn, everybody on YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week. And make sure you go follow Lori Golden.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun.
Bye.
Bye.